a shepherd had a loyal dog named Sultan who had grown very old and lost all of his teeth. One day, while standing with his wife in front of the house, the shepherd announced that he would shoot Sultan the next morning since he was no longer useful. However, his wife pleaded with him to spare the faithful creature's life. She argued that Sultan had served them well for many years, and they should provide him with a livelihood for the rest of his days. The shepherd doubted this would be possible since Sultan had no teeth, and thieves would not be afraid of him. However, his wife insisted that they should try to find a way to keep Sultan alive. Sultan, the dog, overheard his shepherd and his wife discussing the fact that he would be put down the next day. Fearful for his life, he turned to his friend the wolf for advice. The wolf suggested that Sultan should lie down near the shepherd's child, who was left behind a hedge while they worked in the field, and pretend to watch over it. The wolf would then come and take the child away, while Sultan chased after him. The wolf would drop the child, and Sultan would then pick it up and return it to the shepherd and his wife, who would believe that Sultan had saved their child from the wolf. The plan worked, and the shepherd and his wife were grateful to Sultan for saving their child. They decided to spare Sultan's life and take good care of him, and he had everything he needed from then on. Not long after, the wolf approached Sultan and congratulated him on his new position. The wolf then warned Sultan not to tell anyone about what he was about to say. The wolf asked Sultan to turn a blind eye when he stole one of the old shepherd's fat sheep. However, Sultan refused and said that he would remain loyal to his master. The wolf thought that Sultan was joking and decided to steal a sheep one night. However, Sultan had informed his master about the wolf's plan. So, the master waited for the wolf behind the barn door and hit him hard with a stick when the wolf was busy looking for a sheep to steal. The wolf was caught off guard and received a good beating. The story goes that the wolf was furious with Sultan and called him an old rogue. He swore he would get revenge and sent the boar to challenge Sultan to a fight in the woods the next morning. Sultan had no one to turn to for help except for the shepherd's old three-legged cat. He took the cat with him, and as she limped along, she held her tail straight up in the air. When the wolf and boar saw Sultan and the cat approaching, they thought the cat's tail was a sword Sultan was carrying to fight with. They also thought she was picking up stones to throw at them every time she limped. They decided they didn't like this way of fighting, and the boar hid behind a bush, while the wolf climbed up a tree. When Sultan and the cat arrived, they couldn't find anyone there. The boar's ears were sticking out of the bush, though, and when he shook one of them, the cat, thinking it was a mouse, jumped on it and bit and scratched it. This made the boar jump up, grunt, and run away, roaring out, "Look up in the tree. There sits the one who is to blame." They looked up and saw the wolf sitting in the branches. They called him a cowardly rascal and didn't allow him to come down until he was ashamed of himself and promised to make up with Old Sultan and be friends again.